Hello and welcome to our module on step 4 of the Perennial decision-making tool. In this module, we will briefly review the purpose of step 4, proposal. This will include an overview, a look at the prompts in the step as written on the tool, as well as some important tips. Here again, you see the full tool process. As a reminder, the tool is meant to be a resource that guides major decision-making that infuses a deliberate set of process steps for excellence, equity, and continual improvement. In this session, we will isolate the fourth step in the process, the proposal. This step is where you will solidify your proposed actions and strategies for the initiative. The prompts in this step will get you to think about how you are using the information from the first 3 steps to create your proposal, and if the strategies identified explicitly explore equity as it relates to the desired outcomes you identified in step 1. It will also get you to think about the limitations of your proposal as well as concurrent bodies of work that would be important in making this initiative successful. This is the step verbatim from the tool and the prompts that go with it. So given what we learned in step 1 through 3, what are our proposed actions for the initiative? It's the main question. With sub-questions, how is the proposal aligned with the desired outcomes outlined in step 1? Very important to go back to that step and think about that step as you're thinking about your proposed actions. How does the proposal intentionally enhance positive impacts and mitigate negative impacts, especially for historically marginalized population? How do our action strategies explicitly address inequities in our context, especially if we've seen them in the data analysis or the stakeholder analysis in 2 and 3? Who may benefit or be burdened by the proposal? What are potential unintended consequences, right? So even when thinking about taking the action, are there folks, stakeholders that would be more burdened than others with the proposed action, and starting to think about that even as you move towards implementation? How will we collaborate with stakeholders for long-term positive change? So again, starting to take a look and an eye towards implementation and thinking about our stakeholders and making sure they're on board on the long term. And then again, what are our limitations for the proposal? Are there future or complementary strategies that we or others can implement to strengthen impact, right? Again, many issues may not be solved by one initiative. What are the limitations of kind of your actions, and how can you imagine this action being, or sets of action being combined with other actions or other things to consider to have even more collective impact? Just a few notes on the proposal. First, the action plan should refer back to the desired outcomes in step 1 and reflect the priority of equity, right? Did all that work to get to some concrete desired outcomes in step 1. And we want to make sure that we're going back there when we think about impact and what exact strategies and actions we will take in our proposal. Also, strategy should be highly influenced by what was learned in steps number 2 and number 3 of the process, especially those that will mitigate or enhance positive outcomes for those who have been marginalized in the space or currently marginalized in the space. So thinking back to all that data and all those stakeholders you engage with. Third point is the proposal should include concrete action steps as you move to implementation. So those steps should be deliberated over, as you select the ones that you're actually going to implement. And, obviously the ones that are highest leverage as it relates to the desired results are the ones that probably should be preferred over others. Begin looking forward to implementation and thinking about bandwidth and resources as it exists as you make your final action plan, right? So even starting to think about your ability to follow through with the actions as you look towards implementation will give you an idea of what actions you can take now, and maybe some of those limitations as you sit in the current context. And then think about change management strategies that will need to accompany the proposal for specific stakeholders. So going back and thinking about those stakeholders and thinking about those who will both most likely be supportive of kind of whatever decision you're making, and those who might need some help to get on board. Uh, and the strategy that goes around with that also should kind of accompany your action steps. That's our short dive into step 4 of the Perennial decision making tool, focused on building the proposal based off of those first 3 pre planning and context building steps in the process. Um, Next up will be a module on step 5, creating that implementation plan, thinking about implementation of the actions that you've identified in step 4. As always, if you're interested in diving deeper with professional development or could use some strategic support, feel free to contact us at info@perennialed.com. Um, Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you on the next module, step 5. Have a good day.